Sarah, awesome
Yeah,
to talk to you
it's
again.
so good to talk to you again. It's been a little
So
while.
I'm seeing what house you're in. This does not look like your new house.
This is not my new house. It is a small house on our property. We just moved. This is where we were for 18 months, and now we're out of here. But I was going to record with you at the new one, and people are playing the piano. Kids are running, screaming. I was like, I think I'm going to go up the road.
Yeah, I
So,
I totally get it. You've got a lot of
yeah.
kids. How many are actually at the house now? Because I know you just had a wedding.
Yes, so we have 11 children, but only 10 are living at home. So our oldest got married 2 months ago. Today! Is today the 21st? Today.
It is the 21st. Yes.
Yes, 2 months ago today. So he is married. So now the kids say we have 12 because of her. So
Oh,
Katie.
funny. So I was
Yeah.
kind of wondering how you handled that online because my oldest, moved out and is doing cool
Mhm.
things, and so I only have three
Yeah.
sons in the house.
Yeah.
So if I say I'm a family of six, people are like, "But are you really?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Well, I mean, yes, but I'm not
Yeah.
feeding her right now."
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how to say that on camera. What do you do?
I don't either. I really don't because it does feel a little to me it feels a little disingenuous to be like feeding my large family of 13 because sometimes are feeding 14 and often we're feeding 12. So I don't know. I haven't really figured it out. If you figure it out, let me know because I want to be accurate, like not clickbaity, but also and we still have a lot of kids. But then it also feels weird to say a family of 12 because we're not. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yes, that's what feels weird to me. So I think I've
Yeah.
started saying like I'm feeding three teenage boys,
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah.
and then just conveniently leave out my spouse,
Yeah.
weirdly enough. And then, my mom's over sometimes. So I'm like, well, I have a family of 5, 6, 7. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who's to
Yeah.
say?
Who's to say? But it is, I feel like we always have extras too. I don't know. With teens, you probably know this too, is like there's extras all the time too, because not only does my oldest come home with his wife, but we just have teens, friends, I feel like we're just feeding lots of people. I might as well just say feeding the masses at all times because that's what it is.
I should totally say feeding the masses because that's what happened. We did Waffle Wednesday with
Hmm.
my teenagers. I guess that was yesterday. And my senior in high school brought over 8 people by himself, all high
Yes.
school seniors. So,
Yeah.
like, I have my
Yeah.
3 plus the 8 plus my husband.
Yep.
I mean, it was total chaos. And
Yep.
we had a great time. I love teenagers. Do you love
I do
teenagers?
too. I love it. I love it so much more than I even thought I would. I knew I would like it, but this is amazing. And young adults too. It's
Hmm.
just so much fun. I love all their
Of,
friends. I love all the
mhm.
action happening all the time, but I do feel like a cruise ship director sometimes because this person's going this way and this way and this way. And it's just so different than when all of your little ones are just under your apron strings or whatever, under your skirt, like just right there, your little ducklings. It's like now you're just directing traffic. Like who needs a ride where? What are we doing? What's happening? And then I still have little ones, so I do. There's all the feelings. Sometimes like guilt. Like, am I just sitting down with my little ones enough? There's so many moving parts at all times. It's a very fun season though. I love the teens. It's so great.
Yeah, I do too. And I would say you probably have all the ages right now, like the
We
little
do.
ones,
Hmm.
the golden years, which is what I like to call like 5 through 11, where
Hmm.
like they're out of toddler baby, but they're not as expensive as teens yet,
Yeah.
like the golden stage.
Yeah.
And then you got the tween and then the teen and then the adult. So of
Yes.
all of the ages, hands down, favorite stage is which one?
Boy, I really do like them all. I have a least favorite stage. That would probably be 18 months to 2.5 is a little bit, they call it terrible twos, but I believe it starts at 18 months. And if you're very diligent and you just keep on keeping on, it kind of lifts at 2.5. I love it. They're the cutest things in the whole entire world, but it also is a very challenging stage. That's probably the biggest challenging stage. But I really love the babies. I love the infants. I love them all. I like all the stages, honestly. But yeah,
I'm
that's
with
probably my
you.
hardest stage is that little. 18 months, they can't quite communicate with you, and they're frustrated. They think you don't understand, and you do, and you're telling them no, and they're like, no, but you don't get it. And it kind of lifts at 2.5.
Yeah, I'm
So,
totally with you. I do enjoy all of the stages because they're all wonderful in their own way. I agree. The hardest stage is that terrible two. And
hmm
I think it's 18 months. I totally agree with that. I
yep.
didn't have as many kids as you, but mine, it was like 18 to 3.
Oh,
And the tantrums, and some of them
yeah.
don't communicate as well as others, and they're
Yes.
frustrated, and they're trying to drop the nap, but they can't drop the nap
Yeah.
yet. And
Yep.
so they're just like, it's really, really hard to be two. It really
Yeah.
is. It's really challenging. I would
There's a
say
lot of
another hard,
emotion. Yeah.
uh-huh. I think
hmm
another hard age that I've noticed personally as I've watched all my kids transition into teens, I'm
hmm
going to call it like 11 to
hmm
13.
hmm
And that's because they're becoming a teenager and they're testing
hmm
the boundaries, but they don't know
hmm
when to quit yet. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Like,
Absolutely. That
they're testing
pre-adolescence kind of.
jokes, they're
Yes.
testing
Yes.
friendships, they're figuring out how they feel about things. And it's
Yep.
sometimes it does come across as like, I don't want to say annoying, but that's probably the best descriptive
Yes.
word. As
Probably.
but I
Yeah.
but I know, I've seen all my kids go through it and then come
Yep.
out the other side amazing teens and amazing adults.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I just like give them grace during that time while they're testing.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and they're kind of like, and so sometimes they're like cutting in on conversations inappropriately, or just, yeah, they're just trying to figure out the social cues too, and that, you know, how to, because they're starting to feel more adultish. It's an awkward stage a
Yes.
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, it's kind of an awkward stage. Although I have you noticed this? The tween era right now, when you look at all the girls, are you like, I was not as pretty as these girls today
Oh
at
my
that age. I
gosh.
was a disaster.
Oh,
And
I
these
look at old
girls,
pictures. I'm like, mother, what were you thinking? How did you let me walk out like that?
maybe if we had social media, we would have paid attention better,
Yeah.
perhaps,
But also, I'm glad we
on
didn't,
some level.
because that's a lot of pressure.
Yes. Thank heavens there was no internet and
Yeah,
social media when I was making all of my mistakes. Oh my goodness.
I hear you. I agree. 100%.
Can I ask you a question
Yeah.
about groceries?
hmm
Because, yeah, you had one get married, but it's not like your family really got smaller. So we could just
hmm
say you're feeding the same amount of people, or maybe
hmm
more because of friends all the time.
hmm
We all know prices have gone up drastically over the last 4 years,
hmm
like drastic. And I've seen you navigate the waters pretty well, honestly, to feed a family of your size for, what is your budget? Is it 2000?
It is 2000. That's like household supplies too. I mean,
And household supplies. Wow, that's amazing.
and it's with our raw milk. So our budget actually this week, I'll tell you first, two of our two milk cows gave birth. And so our
Because
raw milk budget is like gone, because we get our.
now you have milk.
Yes, and we have a big field. It is such a blessing. We moved to the country, and we have a big field that our neighbor takes. Sound like I know what I'm talking about. I was gonna say plows, but he takes care of it. It's an alfalfa field, and so when our cows need feed in the winter, they're grass fed. He brings bales of hay for us, and so our feed is free. And so our cows just gave birth, and now we literally have our own raw milk. So that was a quarter of our budget, basically.
Wow, that's a
Yeah.
huge savings. Not
Huge
that I would
savings.
recommend everyone having cows, but
Yeah, it's work, but also, and it's an upfront investment, but it will not take us long to make that money, like to save that money, that we
that's
invested. I
amazing.
feel like chickens, we have chickens too. We get our own eggs, and they're amazing eggs, but you got to keep feeding them, and that's expensive. I don't think chickens and ducks really save you money at all. But
I
in
don't
our
either.
situation, the cows definitely are going to be a money saver. And as I learned to make more and more milk products, it's almost, our dairy budget is close to half, because we buy high quality dairy. Our dairy budget is close to half of our budget, which is insane, but I'm so excited to save all that money. And the babies will be raised and be beef for our freezer, which we always buy a whole cow at a time, but now it will be about half the cost it was. It'll just be the butchering fee instead of or it may be like a third of the cost it was. So,
Yeah, that's
or a
amazing. We
fourth,
also
I don't
buy
even know. Yeah.
beef as well. So just to
Mhm.
cut the cost of the cow and just do the butcher fee is
Yeah,
amazing.
it is amazing.
Um, have you made butter yet? Homemade butter? I
Yeah,
guess you
I've
just
done
started
that.
getting milk.
Yeah,
It's
I've
pretty easy.
it is very easy. And I've always made our own yogurt. That saves a lot of money and is so good homemade. It's very, very simple to make. So those things, cottage cheese is pretty easy. Sour cream, I've made good batches and bad. And once I figure out the hard cheese, then the real savings will start because we are cheese people. We love dairy. And so I'm excited to learn a lot and save a lot of money. We had to buy a milk machine. So actually we just milked for the first time 2 days ago. Like we are learning, we are so green. We're the most city slicker people. We don't know what we're doing, but we figured it out with our machine, and it was actually very, very simple. And so it's all new over here. We've been swimming in learning, all of us. So
I love that. I think anyone can learn how to do those things and like learning by doing.
yeah,
That's the best way to do it. Like how else
yeah,
are you going to learn
yeah,
unless you just jump in there and try it and you might mess up,
exactly.
but oh well.
Oh well, I had this little gadget, and I called all the boys today. Even my oldest came home because he wanted to be a part of it and say he did it. But we went out and castrated our little tiny bulls with this band
With the
thing that goes
band,
over.
yes.
And all the boys were there, and me and my husband, and we're just like wrangling these little calves and figuring out, making sure those balls were down there and got the rubber band around
Mhm.
it. We're like, we did it. We just did our own. We don't know what we're doing. It's just, I can't even tell you, like, thank God for YouTube, and we're just figuring it out. We're figuring it
So
out.
what comes up in your YouTube feed after you
Yeah,
search on YouTube,
how to
calf
castrate.
castration?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to look tomorrow.
Yeah, no kidding.
So,
So you have a lot of really unique strategies on saving on groceries. I want to go over them super quick.
okay,
It's one of
yeah.
your favorite, they're your favorite videos of mine
Oh,
from your channel. And you've been doing grocery hauls on YouTube for years and years at this
hmm,
point. Because I think it's fascinating. I think other people do too about the quantity you buy for a
hmm,
large family, but you also shop once a month,
yeah.
which is another unique strategy. And just seeing everything laid out at one time for 1 month for that many people
Hmm,
makes people like me, I only have 4 kids, I'm like, wow,
yeah.
that's a lot of, I'm trying to think of something that you buy a lot of that I wouldn't buy. I can't really think of anything. I don't think you buy weird things,
Yeah.
but you buy some things and I'm like, wow, that's a lot of fill in the blank
Yeah.
with
I
whatever
don't
it is,
know.
tortillas
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever,
Tortillas.
peanut butter. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just a lot. And I think people find that really interesting. But you shop once a month, you do cook from scratch a lot.
Yeah. Most of our meals.
A
Hmm.
lot. So, would you say the biggest money saving strategy is the once a month, the cook from scratch, the multiple stores? Because you also shop multiple stores.
Yep.
What do you
Just
think?
just a few. I think I do think the once a month I've always been really very good about it, keeping in my grocery budget. I think groceries is one thing that can get out of control really easily. So even if I'm not watching every area of our budget, I'm watching that one and keeping that one. And that makes such a difference. Our whole marriage, honestly, even before we had kids. So I think going once a month makes a big difference because you're not just throwing in extra things. Do we run back here and there for one or two things? Yes. But I'll even have a kid do it for me because they're not going to pick up extra things like I would sometimes. But yeah, the once a month is huge. I do think. And then another thing that goes along with it that I think saves me so much money is that I have extra of everything that I can. And so after 2020, we decided to actually build up a lot extra of everything. But even before that, I always had an extra ketchup. So I'm never running to the store because I'm out of ketchup in the middle of the
Right.
month. And so it kind of goes hand in hand. You can't really shop once a month if you don't have a backup of everything. And so you're always replacing your backup. You're not just thinking, what exactly are we eating this month? And so we eat pretty simply. We eat more. The more grocery prices have gone up, the more simple we have eaten. So we're not buying a whole bunch of different ingredients to make all these fancy recipes. We look for new recipes all the time, but we generally look for things that we could make with what we already have, or make it or adjust the recipe to things that we already keep on hand. And so I think having the extra, having backup, and then going just once a month and keeping it fairly simple. We make a lot of different food with the ingredients we keep, but they're it's also not all these just different sauces. There might be one sauce that we always want on hand for a certain meal, and we always just keep that. But we're not just like finding every fancy thing recipe and then getting all these ingredients, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, totally.
we have a lot of spices, and we cook with all of them, and we have a lot of different canned items that we keep, and we make sure we are cooking with all of those. And um, yeah, we have a lot of one ingredient items, and then we make things out of them. So that really does save. In this economy, that saves so much money, is just to take simpler ingredients. And then we can buy a better quality ingredient, which we've been able to slowly do over time and still stay in our budget, because we're not buying all of these tiny little things. We're sticking to these simple ingredients. And it's amazing what you can make out of just real whole foods, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree. You said something that I think is so interesting. So, I have a membership group that it's a private membership group that people are in, and we go through people's budgets and we spend a lot of time in the kitchen going over
Hmm.
groceries, how to cook, how to inventory what you have, shopping, sales, all of the strategies in a more one on one coaching basis.
Hmm.
So, something that comes up a lot in the group, this is asked all the time, and you just addressed it, is what happens when you run out? But
Mm.
but but if my shopping day is Monday, let's say people go once a week, what if you run out on Wednesday?
Yeah.
What would you say to that person? I'm
I
gonna tell
would
you what I said.
I would be making something else until my shopping day again.
Mhm.
Um, I think it's even important for my kids to know. Like, we've gone through. My kids have not experienced, or they don't remember because they weren't young enough to experience, like when we just could barely get by. But it is important to know, like, you can get by with other stuff. When our family, my husband's whole family is from Kenya. When they say their cupboards are empty, their cupboards are empty. When
Mhm.
Americans say their cupboards are empty, their covers are
They're not.
full. Their covers are full.
Mhm.
And we can be creative and learn how to do without with certain things, especially for a few days. Then when I went back to get said item, I would get a couple of said item so that I'm
Right.
not running out again, especially if it's a non-perishable. We just always keep plenty of all of that stuff. And it happens once in a while. We're like, oh, I wish we had Thai noodles. We used to keep Thai noodles. We ran out. We just weren't paying attention. Well, you know what? Let's put it on the list, and we'll get a bunch of them this next month, and then we'll have them, and we'll make sure that we keep get replacing them and replenishing them, and we'll have to wait till December to make it, and that's okay too. That, I mean, I just personally feel like it's okay for my kids to recognize, okay, we can be creative, and what else? Let's try spaghetti noodles and make the same thing, see what happens, you know?
Right. Right. Yeah. So you're saying it's not an emergency. You just, well, it's not shopping day, so we're gonna go without and we'll do something else and it's gonna
Mhm.
be fine.
Yeah.
I think that is a good lesson for the kids to learn also. And then you're just more organized next month.
Yeah. What did you say? I would love to know.
Yeah, pretty much what you said. Like, we weren't as organized. Oh well, it's not shopping day,
Yeah.
so we'll figure something else out. It's not a crisis.
Yep.
Exactly what you said. A lot of people are like, I don't have anything. We inventory our pantries and freezers a lot in my group,
Hmm.
and every single time people are like, I cannot believe how much food I had, and
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Yes.
It happens all the time.
Yeah. We are in the land of plenty, and then we're so used to, I mean, I'm so guilty of it too. Actually love it. But how many of us go grocery shopping and then we're like, what am I going to make for dinner that same day? Because we're exhausted and we
Yep.
did all this shopping. And well, I'm going to make sure I have a couple of rotisserie chickens in that grocery haul so that I don't have to worry about it. But it's like that we're in such a land of plenty, really, that we can look at our full fridge and pantry and think, I have no idea what I should be making for dinner. So I love to keep, because we all have those brain farts, whatever you want to call it. That's a real technical term, but I love to keep a
Yeah, very
list.
technical.
I love to keep a list of fast meals, and I'll keep it on my fridge or somewhere in a drawer nearby, just to remind my own brain, wait, I have these things, and I can make a chili in 5 minutes out of the cans I have, Or I do home canned foods and I'll forget that I had this great home canned meal, and I'll forget about it when I'm in a hurry and think, do we need to get fast food? Well, actually, I actually have something. I just couldn't remember. So I like to keep lists for myself to remind myself, hey, these are some easy meals. Another thing that I love to do, well, I don't know if we're talking about making meals like that, but I think the biggest key in the whole world that is way underrated is just keeping thawed meat in your fridge at all times. Always have thawed meat in your fridge. I'm always making sure I'm like a couple meals ahead and thawed meat. And if I don't, that's when I can be like, shoot, what do we have? I don't know. Thawed meat is half of the battle. If you're a meat eating family, um, it's just so much easier to be like, oh, well, we do have some ground beef and we could make something. What can we do? You know?
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah. Thawed meat is a big one. I feel like that solves half the world's problems right there. Just having thawed meat.
Half the world's problems have thawed meat. You know, it's so funny. One of my go-to meals, like if I'm like, oh, I cannot, is like coconut curry because I
Oh,
buy the packets of sauce. It's not even homemade sauce
oh
from our
yeah.
discount store for like $1 each.
Uh-huh.
And they're always there. They're delicious. I can throw rice in the Instant Pot. We always have rice.
Yep.
And if I have thawed chicken,
Yep.
it is a 3 ingredient meal.
Yeah.
I can cook the chicken, dump in the sauce, pour it over the rice. It's done in 20 minutes.
Wow. We make curries all the time too. We keep coconut milk on our pantry shelf, and we have a lot of tomatoes and spices. Thawed chicken, that is exactly what we do too. And it's so fast, so easy, and it's the most delicious thing ever.
All of my kids, every single one, they're like, "Curry, yes." You know, they're
Yeah.
so excited.
Exactly. Yep.
And it's such an easy meal. I love the homemade sauces too, but when I find those super cheap ones,
Oh
talk
yeah.
about a shortcut in the kitchen.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So I also saw that you did start moving towards more let's say higher quality ingredients, especially in the dairy area.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say old me would have been like, what's the point? Blah, blah, blah. My opinions have changed quite a bit on this over the years.
Mm-hmm.
As I've started testing more higher quality ingredients,
Mm-hmm.
there is something about high quality dairy that is unmatched.
It is. The taste is
It's
so good.
the taste is not even the same. A really, really high quality sour cream
Yes.
cheese, milk, yogurt,
No.
cheese, they're not the same as their cheaper counterparts. So obviously the taste is fantastic. Have you noticed any other health benefits from moving in that direction?
Yeah, well, the what got us started is you hear all this stuff about raw milk, so we're like, oh, maybe we should try it. We didn't have any problems with milk or anything, but you just heard all the benefits. And my husband has dealt with seasonal allergies like so bad since he moved from Kenya. It's been worse and worse every year. He hates taking allergy medicine. It makes him so exhausted, even if it's non-drowsy. It's like every spring and fall, it's just a battle for him. It's, do I take medicine? Do I not? Sneezing everywhere, nose bleeding. Like it's just a mess. And they disappeared completely after a week on raw milk.
What?
It was insane. He hasn't had it for years, none, no allergies at all. And so after that, it started making us think, well, one of my little ones was in a diaper at that time, kept getting diaper rashes. Diaper rash was completely gone. So we noticed those two things and we're like, whoa. And it's because the cow is eating the pollen in our area, and then we're drinking it. And so it's like an antibody for him and completely gone. And so that's what made us start looking at other things and realizing like we get a lot from Azure Standard, which is a co-op drop off thing. They have very high quality ingredients. Well, we tried the cream cheese or this cottage cheese and sour cream. I was like, they were probiotic, really good brand. I think you can get them at Whole Foods and different places too. And we could get them cheap there through this place in bulk. And like the taste is so much better, and it's high probiotics, and I don't have to take my probiotic pill anymore. Okay, count me in. And just like doing these things and realizing we don't have to take these supplements if we actually have high quality ingredients. And then after you eat that stuff for a while, you go back to like the regular grocery store one, and it was bland. It was so bland. And I don't know, the more uh, I went through a long season. I could not afford to do any organic anything. It doesn't matter. And now that I can, I try to more and more because I'm just noticing such a difference in the taste. And when we have simple ingredients, but it's high quality ingredients, the taste of our food is insanely different. It is so much better. And it's really fun to cook when you're cooking food that tastes very, very good, even if it's simple ingredients. We use a lot of spices and mixes, like spice mixes like that, to make our food taste incredible as well. But um, I just, yeah, the more we got into that and realized, okay, there's all these health benefits and it tastes better. Now, my kids, the other day we were out of milk, and Judah, my oldest, was on his way. He was going to make biscuits and gravy. And I'm like, oh, you're going to have to bring some milk because we're not getting milk till tomorrow, or raw milk. And he brought some store-bought milk, and the pasteurized milk, and the kids are trying it. Some of them spit it out. I was like, oh, what have we created? Their
That's
food sounds
hilarious.
now. But
You know, my
it's
favorite
funny, you
thing
get used
about
to
what
it.
you're doing,
Yeah.
is that you are proving that you can eat high quality, healthy ingredients and stay on a budget.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my favorite. That's probably my favorite lesson from you, because I hear that story all the time. It's too expensive to eat healthy,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. But I truly believe that cutting the junk, we'll call it super high processed food,
Mm-hmm.
like Twinkies and,
Yeah.
things that you don't even know what they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a range on there. There's a scale, let's put
Mm-hmm.
Twinkies on the most high processed, can't recognize the original form of the food.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
In fact, I don't know that it ever was. It's probably all lab created,
Yeah.
and then you move down the scale a little bit to potato chips, which are
Mm-hmm.
also highly processed, but you can tell that they were a potato at one point,
Yes.
and then you
Yeah.
move down the line. Let's do like
Yeah.
deli meat turkey or
Yeah.
something that was not bone carved. Like it used to be turkey,
Yeah.
and they like molded it into an oval
Yeah.
and then sliced it.
Yeah.
Right. and
Yeah.
and then you move over more
Yeah.
to your raw milk, so there's a wide scale on this. And I
Yeah.
really believe that as you move away from the high processed, which is, I believe, expensive. It's
Mm-hmm.
expensive. It doesn't
It
fill you
is.
up. It's addictive.
It doesn't
It's
fill you
super
up
high
was a
calorie.
huge key too. It makes you just want
I
to
don't
keep
think,
eating, eating.
yeah, exactly. I don't think people realize how filling homemade
Yeah.
food, simple homemade food
Mm-hmm.
is. So you can eat a lot of it, feel incredibly full and satisfied, and
Yeah.
get so much fewer calories overall
Yeah.
than chips.
Yeah, exactly. But let me say this. The other day, or several months ago, I was just walking through Costco. I'm trying to go through Costco more sometimes because they do have a lot more. We're Sam's Club people. They have the scan and go and the free pickup. It's so nice. But the
Have you
Costco
seen
has.
Sam's Club new walkout, no show receipt?
Oh, I do it all the time. All the time.
My store just got that.
It's
And so
amazing.
now
I
it's
love Sam's Club.
amazing. It's amazing. And then
Yeah.
I go into Costco and they won't even let me in unless
I
I scan my card
know.
now.
I forgot my ID once and it kicked me out. I was like, oh, this place. But anyway,
Costco's making it harder to shop. I don't
they
understand.
are, but they had this bag of chips, and you hear all about seed oils and how terrible they are. Well,
Hmm.
I do love a good potato chip in my life. We are not purists
Sure.
by any chance. And so I was like, okay, they have this non-seed oil. It was made with avocado oil potato chips. I bought them. None of us could believe how incredibly good they were. They tasted so much better than a regular potato chip. So, like, even the quality ingredients, it was an expensive bag, and it took us a while to get through it because you didn't even need that many. It's crazy, and they were phenomenal. They didn't have them last couple times I was in there, but I was like, man, even taking something that's like pretty highly processed, it was potatoes, avocado oil, and sea salt, and it was so good. Well, I should just make it, but that sounds like a lot of work.
That is a lot of work. And now I feel like I need to go to Costco and see if I can find them.
It's like a Boulder brand or something. I don't know. It was very
Mm-hmm.
good. I was like, man, anyway, we've noticed that so many things when we spring for the higher quality, the taste is
I've noticed
so
that.
good.
I made it was a basic Alfredo, like a lemony pepper Alfredo homemade. And I
Mhm.
sprung for a block of Parmesan that I grated myself.
Oh, yeah.
And the most expensive ingredient was the heavy cream, because we have a dairy farm that's like 30 minutes from us, and they have a little shop and you can buy their stuff that like
Oh,
they just made.
nice.
So this little bottle of heavy cream was $8. It was a
Yep.
lot.
Yes.
It would have been $2 if I'd gotten the Great Value brand or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was the most delicious
Yes.
pasta
I
with the
believe it.
sauce ever. It was unreal how good it
Yeah.
was. And we were like, well, hashtag worth it.
Yep. Hashtag worth it. And it was probably better for you. So,
So we're coming up into the holiday season,
uh-huh.
Christmas. You guys are in the new house. Very
Yes,
exciting.
it's so fun.
Okay, so I got to ask you some holiday questions. Are you
Okay.
ready?
Yes.
Okay. So you live in the country, so I don't know that you have neighbors, but do you do neighbor gifts?
We will.
Coworker
Yes.
gifts?
Yep. So we'll do neighbor
Church
gifts.
gifts?
There are acreages out here, so we definitely know our neighbors. It's important when you're far that far out.
That
Yes.
true. So what's your favorite neighbor gift to give?
We'll probably bake something. We'll bake some. I'll make some sourdough bread and take a loaf, and maybe some of the kids will make cookies, and we'll do like a little combo. A loaf of
Okay.
bread in case they
Okay.
don't like bread or they don't like cookies. They'll have something.
And
Yeah.
you homeschool, but do you co-op at all?
We do off and on this year, but my kids are involved in a lot of activities, I would say. So with
Okay.
other
Okay.
homeschoolers, so like football we've done, and yeah, so right this year we do some high school courses through a co-op kind of situation where it's a teacher, but we're not doing it this year, which is kind of nice because we have a lot on our plates this year. But we're trying to just hit the books at home a lot this year because sometimes co-ops can be they take a lot of your time.
Yes, I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah,
So what about Christmas stockings? Yes or no?
yes, we definitely do
What's
that.
what's a what's a what's a go-to that goes in the sock?
Well, there definitely candy goes in the sock because that fills it a lot. And then I try to get some things that are not junk. So for like my art kids, I'll get some little art stuff. And yeah, for us, it's kind of extra little gifts. Definitely. I don't like junk because we have a lot of kids and junk can pile up real quick. And so I try to find some fun little toys that are not too junky and or things that they really would love, like flashlights or little practical things, razors for my boys or, different things like that. But I love to
Have you
mix practical
seen
with fun as much as I can. Actually, they're a pain.
this?
Stockings are a pain to find stuff for it.
This is really fun for younger kids. Have you seen those flashlights that go on your fingers? These
Oh no, they would
little
love that.
finger flashlights. I'd say kids 8 and under
Oh,
that,
how fun.
oh my gosh, they would love that. I bet you can find them on Amazon. We did that
Yeah.
one year a long
Uh,
time ago and it was a hit. It
yes.
was fun.
Yeah, they love
What about
magnet things.
mhm.
Um, yeah, it's just those little things that kind of keep them busy.
Yes. What about cookies for Santa?
Yes, some of my kids always put out a couple cookies for Santa. I don't know that they really believe, but we let them play along as much as they want. So,
And what kind of cookie? Is it different every time?
yep, yep. We don't have strong traditions in that way. It's just them gathering. They kind of take the lead on that. So it's not something I necessarily do. They just have learned it from movies, and they're like, "Oh, we got to put out cookies. Let's go find what we have."
Okay, if you had to pick Christmas music or Christmas movies, you can only have one. Which one is it?
Oh, that's hard. Maybe music. Music is
You
pretty
pick the music.
great.
What's your
Yeah,
favorite
because you
Christmas
can
song?
I love listening to Michael Bublé a lot.
Oh my gosh, he can sing me to
Yeah,
sleep
I know.
any day.
Yes. And then my favorite one is Lash what is it?
Oh, Last Christmas.
No, not Last Christmas. I can't stand
Oh, okay.
that one. It's
What?
Stevie Wonder one. Someday at Christmas. I love that one. You know that one? The old one.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
kids all know. Oh, my mom's favorite Christmas song. There
I
won't be
love.
wars, all that. It's a
Yep.
fun old song.
I love all Christmas music. I like the I Want a Hippopotamus. I think that song's
Yes. Oh,
hilarious.
we do that one a lot.
And then I love all of Bing Crosby. Play me Bing Crosby
Yeah.
all day long. Like it's
Yes.
fantastic. And then not Buble, but the other guy that sings with him sometimes. I'm totally blanking his name.
Yes. I know who you're
Do
talking
you know
about.
who I'm talking about?
Hmm.
Why can I not think of his name? He has a Christmas album
I can't
that
either.
is so gorgeous. His voice, I cannot. Is his name Josh?
Josh Groban.
Yes,
Yes.
Josh Groban.
Yep.
Josh Groban's Christmas album is spectacular,
Yes.
along with
His voice
Pentatonics
is
has a great
amazing.
Christmas album.
Oh, we listen to Pentatonics all the time. They have several
I
great
love them.
Christmas albums. Hmm.
Mhm.
They're
Mhm.
good.
And then, oh, Frank Sinatra, Christmas album. Come on.
Yep. All the
Can't go wrong.
classics. Nope.
What is your top favorite Christmas movie?
I don't know if I have one.
No?
Yeah, I like the music a lot better, but I do love that all my
Mm.
family will come sit around, and I love anything that makes me laugh. I'll watch Elf and all those things that are funny, you know.
I saw Elf in the movie theater when it came out,
Uh-huh.
and we went with Dave's parents, and his dad hated it.
Oh, he did?
Hate it's not his kind of humor. He's like
Oh,
stupid.
yeah.
It's like stupid funny.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
kind of
he
stupid
hated
funny.
it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I loved it.
my kids are real, a couple of them are real musical. They're into musicals, and last year two of my kids were in Elf, the musical, and it was a lot of work for months, but it was so fun to see it come to life. So we really enjoyed that.
You have a super busy life with the homeschooling and the land and the animals and the kids. Do you ever get time to yourself to read ever?
I do go through seasons, but it almost is like if I get into a good book, like a novel, it's hard for me to look up. So, yeah, when I do, I have to make sure I have like extra time, which it hasn't happened for a while. But maybe once or
Yeah.
twice a year, I'll get in a streak where I'll read several books in a row, and then I'm like, I better rejoin my life.
If you had to pick your favorite book you've ever read, what would it be?
mm, I don't know. I don't really have a favorite. It's like movies. I just kind of like them all when I'm reading them. I like a lot of books when I'm reading them, but I don't have a favorite. I don't like to reread movies. Mostly don't love rewatching movies or rereading books.
Hmm.
Yeah. But I do enjoy reading for that moment that I do. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
I
I
get
could see
into
how
it.
your life would not be conducive to that at the moment. I totally get it.
Hmm.
So, if there was a mom out there struggling, let's call it with littles, because that's the challenging stage. It's all consuming and every day is painfully the same.
Hmm.
It's quite lonesome at that stage, I think.
Hmm.
So, if you were talking to a mom that's going through that right now, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that they really need to know themselves and what they need. Because some moms might be like me, and they'd be very happy to be content at home, running their home, and find a lot of fulfillment in it, and for quite a while, and be happy, and that's great. And some moms, they need to just get out of the house every day, and some
Mhm.
moms need to just find friends. And I think it's really important to know yourself and know what you need. I had a friend when I was a young mom. I was pretty happy um, being just like doing my thing and learning. Learning for me just helps me feel like I'm not just going numb. Like, so right now I'm learning homestead things, but maybe when they were little, I was learning how to make yogurt and learning different things in my kitchen. And that kind of felt like I was stimulating my brain, that kind of thing. But I had a friend who she had to get out, and that was so important for her. And I was so proud of her for knowing herself. And she would load up her little ones and just go get a coffee. They'd be in their pajamas, bedhead, whatever. But that helped her so much. And then sometimes she'd come sit at my house and drink the coffee. And it was good for me too. And like we need each other, even if we don't feel like it, we do. I think it's so important to just try to find some friends that you connect with, that can understand you. Even now in my life, I'm in a crazy season, but I feel like my tank is so full, or whatever you want to say, those hokey expressions, when I am with another large family mom. They can understand what it's like to have a 3-year old that you're potty training and you're marrying your son off at the same time. Like the
Mhm.
crazy that's involved in all of that, when I can talk to someone else who's kind of in the same spot, I feel like when you got these little toddlers and babies, when you can connect with another mom that has the same situation, all of your crazy that's going on in here seems a whole lot less crazy when there's someone across from you that has the same thing going on, and you realize, okay, so this is normal in my marriage in this season. This is normal, and it's okay that I lost my cool, but I apologize. I got myself back together. Hey, I did the same thing last week. I totally understand, and oh, it just makes such a difference. It's important to know yourself and just like have other people in your life, even if you're not, like, for me, I'm a little more on the introvert side. but it can help so much still to just have somebody else in your life that's kind of in the same season. I think it's worth getting out of your box and trying really working to find somebody else. I know, like when I found another large family mom, there were very few. I don't know if in your area there may be a lot of large families, but in mine there are really
Mhm.
not. Yeah, because of where you are, there are, and here not so much at all. And finally, I found a friend, and it made such a difference for me to meet up with somebody else who had the same crazy going on in her house that I had in mine. And then she's Catholic, and she had a lot of Catholic friends she introduced me to that have a lot of and now I have a lot of friends. I'm not Catholic, but I have a lot of Catholic friends that have huge families, and we have so much in common because we have the same situation going on, in our homes and the same dynamics, and it's just amazing how much we are the same. And I feel like moms with toddlers and babies that are just in the thick of it, there's so many that are in the same boat, and it's great to connect online with people, but it's really really fulfilling to connect in person too, and it's worth it. So that's what I would probably tell somebody. It's like, find someone.
I agree. I think I would echo what you said about finding someone or a hobby or learning or just not losing yourself in it,
Hmm.
which can happen. And I think yeah, you don't want to lose yourself in the process. And
Yeah.
I'm not an introvert. So the alone, like the isolation of it for me
Hmm.
was very challenging.
Yeah.
And I felt like all of my skills, my personal skills, are not in the home.
Yeah.
Like I don't craft, I don't sew, I don't. It felt like back then when my kids were little, it was all that you're going to sew your
Hmm.
daughter's dress and
Yeah.
make homemade bows and
Yeah.
needle point and I was like,
Mhm.
ugh, poke
Yeah.
me in the eye. I'd rather do
Me
anything but
too.
that.
Oh, yeah.
And so I wasn't a great housekeeper and I didn't play any instruments and I don't sing
Yeah.
that well. And, I was just like, what am I even doing
Yeah.
here? All of my skills are not conducive to be a homemaker, but here we are. So
Mhm.
I think not losing yourself and filling your cup personally is
Mhm.
a
Yeah,
big deal. So if
it
people
is.
want to see more of you and spend more time with you on the internet, where do they go?
Well, YouTube, Our Tribe of Many, is our channel, and that's where I show up the most consistently. So a couple times a week, we have videos. We share our family, we share large family life, and we share cooking and grocery shopping and all of that jazz. So
Do you still have a course that you did?
I do have a course. I did a course for home management, and yeah, I
Hmm.
can send you a link for that if you want to link that. But it really goes through just how to most effectively run a household, and with a lot of different size households, just tips that will help things run smoother. So it's more automatic, so you're just not wasting your time trying to develop systems. It's systems that can work for many different areas in your house and raising children. So,
Okay, I love it. Well, Sarah, thank you so much. It's always fun to talk to you.
yeah, thanks for having me on. It's fun to talk to you, to catch up. You got three teenage boys now at home, just three teenage boys left.
That probably sounds easy to you, doesn't it?
I've got three teenage boys too in my house.
Yeah, but a whole lot others.
Yeah, exactly.